So sometimes you see them.
A seagoing ship has just arrived at Dogank Dock,
But you see that is
the newest and biggest dock in the port of Antwerp in Belgium.
and then the biggest lock, Kilderick lock, is right behind.
The arrivals, the loading and offloading of ships seemingly unending. This is the port of Antwerp, 60 kilometers north of Brussels, near the Dutch frontier. The port is a gateway to Europe, handling more than 180 million tons of freight annually. Its central position in northwest Europe and its excellent connections with the most important centers of industry and consumption in Europe have placed Antwerp as a very important link in the chain of international trade. It is the biggest and the newest dock here in Antwerp, and actually it is where the biggest ship dock.
You see, we are on this point, so you will see the different docks coming onto this one point. Right in front, there's Churchill Dock, Hansa Dock to the right, and to the left, the Canal Dock. And here, so we have the two locks, and so you see one bridge is up, the other one will be down. And here, this one is down and the other one is up. Usually, one goes up and then the ship can go in. You see now that ship right there is going into the lock.
It is this port that the Kenyan delegation, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta, was here to benchmark during its visit to Belgium and the European Union. The government wants to capitalize on the country's strategic placing on the continent to station itself as the gateway to Africa.
If our port was that much more efficient, we would be in a position to increase the GDP of our country just through Mombasa port by an extra 1.5 percentage points. Now, 1.5 extra percentage points is thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs for our young people who are looking for placement and employment.
Kenya is targeting Lamu Port as that harbour that will give it that cutting edge over South Africa's port of Durban because of its proximity to Tana River. The port of Antwerp, the second largest in Europe, is much more than just a loading and unloading point. Here, goods are also stored, repackaged and distributed. Due to its enormous storage capacity, the port acts as the supermarket of Europe, where all types of products obtain the specialized handling and storage they require. Antwerp is the only port where millions of tons of freight can be carried further inland. The port stretches 80 kilometers inland along River Skelde, covering an area of about 12,068 hectares of land. Along the river are docks, and in between the docks and the river are industries, most of them petroleum industries.
Indeed, there are 900 private companies who make the real economy in Antwerp. They're from all over the world. We have all the major shipping lines, we have all the major maritime companies, we have all the major petrochemical companies. Of the top 10 petrochemical companies in the world, 7 are in Antwerp. So we have everybody. And of course, it comes with big companies and smaller companies, international and local.
There's different pipelines. There's one coming from Rotterdam with crude oil here, but then it's going to different companies, and in between companies there are like products who are finished, who are transported also through pipelines in between companies.
The port is also home to Doel nuclear reactors that provide Belgium's energy needs.
If we have the same kind of thing, even half, even 10% of companies investing at Lamu port, the impact of those ports will be massive for us.
At this port, Belgium earns a total direct added value of 9.8 billion euros every year.
We need to be able to get out of the traditional way that we think things and see how we can benchmark on people who have actually made a whole economy as a result of their port.
The government sees Tana River as an equivalent of River Skelde, and hence docks could be constructed further inland along the river. Kenya's Lamu Port project may have its own issues, as Tanzania and other countries have initiated similar projects. But Kenya plans to have an upper hand with the proposed project.
In addition to doing this railway from Lamu port, we would like to link Lamu port with Mombasa by a small extension of SGR. You can imagine the kind of spin-off effects that you have. If you have a SGR, short distance from Lamu to Mombasa, linked up together. Excess cargo from Lamu, you'll be fed into the main SGR.
Enoch Sikolia, NTV, Brussels, Belgium.